go. Technology's amazing, and we hate it.
I love-hate relationship.
What just clicked?
Me, I touched the thing. I'm all sparky today.
Then don't do that.
Yeah, well, I didn't do it on purpose.
I know. Everything's weird.
Is your groove all messed up?
Threw off my groove.
No! You threw off my groove!
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Oh, mess with the groove. The groove.
Beware the groove.
Hey, are you gonna be all right?
Man, you know what? I didn't even start the clock yet.
So, okay.
Yeah. And here we are.
Hi.
It's been.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is take 2.
Yeah. And
Full disclosure, everybody, take 2.
Merida is
Does not understand.
she's annoyed.
Yes.
She did all of her paperwork earlier, and now it's like, oh.
I know. We were in the groove.
We were in the group.
We were there and
It's okay. We can start out now.
Anyway.
we have it, and we can
That's
yeah,
right.
and that was a nice first run though.
That's okay.
And yeah. Okay. Tonight is our top 10 for the United States and territories.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the whole shebang.
Yeah.
The whole
Yay.
thing. We did this with the state of Colorado, and I honestly thought that our state of Colorado was a lot of fun. It was not quite as popular as I hoped.
That's okay. We had fun doing it, and that's the point of this.
Well, there is that. And doing these, even though I don't get that much viewership on the Todd channel, on the Todd-Cast channel, I'm learning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
I'm learning so much here, and this is my playground.
You a little verklempt. You all right about that? A little choked up? Very emotional? Your glass box of emotion?
I'm a man trapped in a glass box of emotion.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
You lost me.
That's okay.
As per our theme, we do movie quotes.
Sometimes
Poorly.
Kris gets it, and sometimes she doesn't.
We do I was gonna say we do movie quotes poorly.
We like them.
I know. Anyway, tonight, where was I going with this? Our viewership is not that great on the Todd-Cast channel. I'm learning a lot. This is my sandbox.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not my playground, my sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
So I tinker with things and I figure out how things work and how to do them. And I actually learned what audio compression is all about, and I'm utilizing that. Anyway,
But we're going to do our top 10 list of where we want to go in the United States.
Yes.
And we are going to do like we did last time. We're going to start from the farthest out. We're going to start with Alyce, and then we're going to work our way back over. And we'll see how that works. So, and go Alyce.
Here I go. All right. So my list composed mainly of places that I'd like to go because I haven't gone. But then I also put some things on there that I'd like to go back again because I have been with some conferences and things like that. But I want to hit better. So first one on my list, again, it's probably no particular order, but that's how they came out of my brain. So the first one that came out of my brain was a cruise to Alaska. I've never been. I want to go. Big reason I want to do a cruise is because there's things that you can see from the water side that you can't see from the land side, and I want to be able to utilize that piece. I am leaning more towards a Disney cruise to Alaska just because I've seen a lot of those YouTube vloggers put that on there. It just looks amazing. I've never been on a Disney cruise. I thought that might be a fun first one. But it looks like a really great experience. Have family who's done it. They love it. So Alaska cruise. I would love to be able to go back to this place because the last time I was there, I was 1.5 years old, give or take a few. And I'd like to go back to Hawaii and actually do it as an adult. I do have very specific memories of being in Hawaii that has not been passed down in family lore. I'm like, did we do this?
Wow.
And mom and dad are like, yes.
That's
and Chuck's like,
impressive.
yes. And I'm like, I have specific memories of that, like from my perspective. So even though I was young, I do remember specific things. And the one I really would like to go into the ocean because Chuck got to and I did not.
And now I've even been down.
I don't care.
I've been
We're
under
talking about
the
me.
water.
But I'd like to do that. So those are some memories. Like we went to the beach and Chuck got to, mess around in the water. Yes, I was 1.5. From an adult perspective, I get it. 1.5-year-old Alyce doesn't understand that Chuck gets to do it, but I don't.
Shark bait. Hoo-ha-ha.
Shark bait. Ooh-ha-ha. Welcome, brother Shark bait. Shark bait. Ooh-ha-ha. Enough of the shark bait. Shark bait. Ooh.
But I was like I was mad.
Yeah.
I was really, that hurt my feelings a lot. And then Chuck got to try and climb a tree to get a coconut. Didn't work.
I don't remember.
I do.
coconut.
It was on the tree. There are pictures of it. It's that slanty tree that you tried to climb, and you're like, I'm going to get that coconut from up there, Alyce. I'm like, no.
I started up and
then the prickly parts.
No, it wasn't the prickly parts. I realized just how high up those coconut trees grow.
But I remember that. And so I have very distinct memories of going there, but I'd like to do that as an adult. So Hawaii's on top of my list. We were talking about doing this as a kind of a weekender, quick, just go do something place we've never done that's close and easy. Catalina Island, I would like to do.
Yeah.
Again, quick, easy, bam, you could get there in 2.5 hours. We would be there from Denver. It would be really cool. So Catalina is one of the spaces that I'd like to go. And then this one's kind of a region. It's not a specific state, but I'd like to do the New England side of things that are the top most northeast of the United States, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, all of those spaces. Because I ain't never been there. I've been pretty much on the other 4 corners or the 3 corners. I'd like to hit the 4th corner on that one. I'd like to go to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And hit some of those beaches and water. You'll find a running theme in the next few. I like to go to the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Water, beach, yes.
Islands.
I would like to go to Guam. Not quite sure how high up on the list that one is, but I've seen
such a
killer flight ride.
Yeah.
But I like, the water, the islands, the people. I've seen some travel spots on that, and it's amazing.
I can't imagine, well, at least from the U.S., that it's that touristy because it's so far
away. Yeah.
Well, and it's so military still.
Yes. So,
true.
To see that water. I've been to Australia, so it'd be neat to be like that side of the world again.
Yeah.
This one I was at a conference in Gatlinburg, and I got a little bit of a taste of this, but I'd like to go back to the Great Smoky Mountains and actually get up and do some stuff in the mountains and hike and see that space. It's a very different set of mountains and forests than what we're used to here in Colorado. Yeah. So I would like to experience that. I love what I did a 20-30 minute trip up before I headed back to the airport, and I loved it. I have been to the Florida Keys before, Key West, but I'd like to do some of the other keys. I think that there's a whole line of them. I'd like to try. Yes, I'd go back to Key West in a heart second, but I like the idea of some of the other keys that are along there and try and get some of that water time and diving and snorkeling in.
Oh, yeah.
Again, my whole list is kind of surrounding around that. And then the last one I put down on my list is I'd like to go to Louisville, Kentucky and go to the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs.
There you go. Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
I'm on the fence of whether I want to go on race day because that's just the massive humanity, and I'm just kind of like, ugh. So going to Churchill would be cool, and watching the horses and just not be there on race day could be, I think, fulfilling. I've been to Saratoga and did that there, and it was, amazing. So I would like to.
Well, and you've followed the Triple Crown.
I love. say what you will. I like watching the horses run.
Yeah.
That's what it's about to me. I don't care about the whole betting side of it. Don't care. I love watching those animals just go.
So do they have races there that aren't the Derby?
Yeah, they do. They do. Once racing season starts, they race throughout the season.
Okay.
But the Derby is they get the first kind of big race of the year.
Kind of kicks things off.
Kind of kicks the season
But I was
off.
thinking if you wanted to see a race there, that wasn't quite so overwhelming as the Derby itself.
I could get, there's options to do that. So that would be really kind of fun. And like it's hosting more than just the Kentucky Derby. There's the end of the year race. So they've hosted that. And then the other two are actually going through their refurbishment. So the Belmont this year isn't even at Belmont.
Okay.
It's going to be held at Saratoga this year. So where I've been, and how they're going to put that race. I mean, well, Saratoga starts their race season from the second week of July.
Okay.
And they host races at Saratoga every weekend until Labor Day.
Okay.
So this one's just going to be, they're a month earlier now than the regular Saratoga season. So, but Saratoga Springs, New York is pretty amazing. So it's pretty cool. So that's my list. I have some honorable mentions too. One of the things with Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, those areas, there's the National Marine Sanctuaries chain and works that I would love to visit. I'd like to be in more National Marine Sanctuaries. Just nature of what I do. So I'd like to visit some of those. I think that would be really cool. And you can get some of that in Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands. So that's kind of what was one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
So that's my list.
Wow. So what's funny is before we started recording, I had mentioned that I thought we would have less overlap compared to our Colorado top 10, just because it's such a much bigger place and different choices, and there's so many things to choose from. Well, I'm about ready to prove that wrong. All right, so the first one on my top 10 list is New England.
There you go.
But specifically New England in the fall, so I can do the leaf peeping. But also I want to see the tall ships. And I want to do something spooky. So whether that's Salem, which I know is touristy spooky, or just looking at footage of driving through those deciduous forests and the canopies.
Yeah.
It all looks spooky.
I'll go to Sleepy Hollow with you.
Yeah. That would be cool.
That's in New York though.
Yeah,
you could do a drive.
Oh yeah.
Up and down.
You fly into New York and then you just
drive down.
Yeah, I was going to say, we go to Sleepy Hollow first and then we head down to Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That'll work. Yeah.
You do that in a day.
I know. It's the one place in the country where you can hit 5 states in 24 hours. Okay. Next is on the other side of the country, the Oregon coast.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. Just touched, we went to Seattle to do I guess was it a tall ship?
We went to Portland, Oregon for the SCA 40th year celebration.
That was Portland, Washington, not Oregon.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay, I didn't think that Washington had a Portland.
It does.
Okay.
It's a very small space.
Okay.
But yeah, and then it was a 3-hour drive up to Seattle so that we could do that tour on the, what was it, a square
The Lady
rigger?
Washington.
Yeah, the Lady
that's
Washington.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. But I'd like to see more of just the coast. The rocky coast. It's supposed to be a beachy coast. Then the next one, again, Alaska glaciers.
That are better seen from the water side than the land side.
And so this is where I'm going to bring up, I just splurged and got from an organization called the Wanderers. They make these little charms as well as this cool little thing. Yeah. And I just got the national parks. The organization has, in addition to national parks, you can get these little things for states, countries, cities, or important landmarks.
Yeah.
And that's globally. They also have like stadiums because
Oh,
obviously
that's-
they're
yeah.
big baseball
like
fans.
baseball stadiums. Yeah. That's
So
a thing. That's a thing to
it's
travel
a
to all of them.
Yeah. So I have the ones that where I've visited as an adult. So Grand Canyon, Carlsbad, Grand Tetons and Yellowstone, Mesa Verde. Come on. White Sands and Rocky Mountain National Park. So, White Sands is the only one where I actually didn't realize this till I got the charm that when I visited there, it wasn't a national park yet. Because it only became one in 2019. And I went there again, grandparents, and now my dad lived in and live in Las Cruces. And so White Sands is a close day trip from there. And so we would go there all the time to picnic and whatever. And it's really cool. So now I just have to go back and make it official that I've been there when it's the national park. But okay.
Those are cool. That's
Yeah,
neat.
it was a lot of fun. And it's, just a tiny little thing to have as a memory. And you don't have to like bring home a bunch of
Another
stuff.
T-shirt.
I'll probably still get a T-shirt. Yeah. Okay. So back to my list. My next one is Puerto Rico. Never been there. I know people, like I work with people who are either from there or are still there, and I work with them remotely. So I would just love to see it. I've seen pictures. It all looks gorgeous. My next one is, man, I go back and forth across the
We're going to be flying all over the place.
Oh man, I gotta put these in a better order. My next one's Yosemite, which kind of shocked that I've not been to Yosemite yet because it's such a big one, but have not, and would love to.
It's an easy drive in from San Francisco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I've got to go see El Capitan.
there you go.
I
Yeah.
have to. I
Yeah.
have to.
How do we?
So.
How did we not? Right?
Right. I mean, how did we not yet?
Yes,
That's
You
true.
know, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, my next one is Crater Lake.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, never really thought about it, but as I was scrolling through all of the national parks, I'm like, oh, yes, I have to go there. Next one is New Orleans. Jazz,
Mhm.
history, architecture. I would also love to do not just New Orleans, but Louisiana in general.
Yeah.
So
That's a cool part of the country.
go into the bayou.
Yeah.
It just
I'd
seems
like to go back.
almost, I don't want to call it a different country, right? But it's just, it was settled by a different culture, and it's just
Very
so,
specific.
very,
yeah.
yeah. So it
When it
seems
was settled,
unique.
it was a different country.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Well,
fair. But
so was our region, but hey.
yeah.
Yep.
So, would just love to explore all of that. And if we could sneak in a little cruise up the Mississippi from there,
That would be
you
cool.
know,
Yeah.
and listen to the jazz. Hopefully we don't have to get on board. I'm thinking of Tiana and
Get up a paddle boat.
is go up. Yes. Get on a
No,
paddle
she's thinking
boat.
about, having to get off of a sinking raft to
Yeah.
jump onto the paddle boat. And
Right.
Well, you're not frogs.
And
so
pretend, and
you're all good.
play jazz as an alligator.
Why, the Bayou's the best jazz school in the world. All the greats play the riverboats. Oh, Louis, give anything to be up there jamming with the big boys.
Why don't you?
Oh, I tried once. It didn't end well.
Great.
Then you'd have to go during Mardi Gras.
I don't want to
And
go
you don't
want to
go during Mardi Gras.
No, too many crowds. That
It's
just sounds
insane. I went
scary.
during Mardi Gras
Yeah.
and that was an accident. And we were just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, will
No.
not.
It was not. No.
Will not do.
Will not do. Okay, my next one. Okay, technically we were here, but I'll say what I wrote is more of the coast in the Carolinas, more of the coastline of the Carolinas. So yes, we did the Outer Banks.
We had already decided we didn't do enough.
Yeah.
We didn't do
fell
enough in the
love.
Outer Banks.
Yeah.
So much that we missed there that we want to go back and do. But I would also love to see, like where my friend lives. That's a little further south. I would love to go to South Carolina. There's some really cool history and stuff
Yes.
out there.
Charleston's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more of the coastline of the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Then again, flipping back and forth, the giant redwoods. I drove. I was in that area for a conference. Again, you get in the middle of the afternoon. You've got an afternoon to kill. I'm like, I got to go see the ocean. So I had to go over the mountain to get over to the ocean. And I touched on like where the redwoods started, but it wasn't the big, impressive.
Yeah.
But they were big enough for me to go, whoa, I've got to come back here and spend time there.
Well, tucking that Muir Woods is amazing.
I love that a national forest or is that a national park?
It is a national park.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, it is. So there's that one. And then last but not least, there's another one from your list, Alyce, and that is the Smoky Mountains.
There you go.
Ta-da!
So we're not always about the beaches. We like us a little mountain stuff.
A little mountain
Well, I was gonna say because where we grew up. You're not gonna get that out of us.
No.
You're not. It will not be. It does not remove easily.
And they're not that tall.
No,
I will give you that. We're summiting at 543 feet. I'm like, what?
Well, on the East Coast, yeah.
Like that? What?
I know.
I live at 5,280.
Yeah.
It's such a different experience of mountains.
Well,
until you get to Alaska.
Well, then they can yell, I'm a flatlander at that point.
20,000.
I give you that. But I just was like, riding the ski lift and we're going to summit at 500 feet. Okay. Woo.
Are we now?
Pop your ears, everyone. Settle down.
Oh, I don't know if I can handle this.
Chew the gum so that way your ears don't plug.
Have you noticed that no one's mentioned Minnesota yet?
I almost did.
And why didn't you?
Honorable mention.
Because it was hard. Like, I had to eliminate so much to get down to 10.
Yeah.
But I would love to do Minnesota up in the lakes district.
Yeah, Land O'Lakes. Yeah.
I would also, same thing, Michigan, up in there and up in the glove or in the thumb of the glove. I've seen so many pictures. My aunt and uncle and cousins do their summer break there,
right,
at some cabin on the water, and it just looks amazing. They go back there, if not every year, every few years, and it just looks incredible. I would love to go up in that area, but I was going to say,
because you want to talk deep forests.
Yeah, true.
Man, they got
Yeah, and water and all the water. So would love to do that. So Okay.
Okay.
It didn't make my top 10.
Okay.
There are quite a few things that didn't make my top 10. So, and before I prattle on anymore, Chuck, it's your turn.
Oh boy. Okay. Here we go, folks.
How many overlaps do we have?
They're seeing my list. Okay. I just put it up on the screen.
We've kept it secret like we did the last one.
Yeah, because the reason is because I wanted it to be fresh for everybody.
Yeah.
Get those reactions.
But we do share half the DNA. So it's like a lot of it's going to be the same.
Man, and here we go. Okay, number 10. My number 10 spot, and this is in really no particular order. This is just stream of consciousness.
That's how it came out of your brains.
Yeah, exactly. Massachusetts. I want to do the whole state.
Okay.
The whole state. I want to do from the coast out west.
Okay.
I want to go in there and just go look at the mountains. I want to go and look at the little villages. I want to go look at colonial history.
You will love Plymouth.
See, I want to go
to
Plymouth. You will
love Plymouth.
Just because of deep colony things,
It is very cool.
I want to go see where they saw or where they had the old colony of Marymount, the colony that got destroyed that nobody really talks about.
Yeah.
I want to go see that. I don't know if that's in Massachusetts or New York. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I want to go see all that. I want to go Boston. I want to go do Boston. I want to go do spooky things.
Okay.
I want to go to Salem.
Yeah.
Okay. When I said we'd go Sleepy Hollow, we'll start in New York and come back down. And the reason is because number 9 on my list is New York. And I'm not talking about just the city. I want the city, the state. I want everything.
Yeah, the Adirondacks you would like too.
Again, I'll put a video of the Adirondacks right
so
here.
Pretty.
you know?
So pretty.
Because I went to the little software asset thing that I have, and it's a copyright free video right here. Number 8 is Virginia.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, the whole state, even incorporating West Virginia, because at one time it was all
the same.
one state.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go see it all. So them Smoky Mountains, Shenandoah River, life's old there.
The Appalachian Trail would be kind of a neat to hit.
That would be fun. To do the Cumberland Gap
and do that all of that part in
Yeah.
the north New England part of that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do the whole Appalachian Trail, but you like just say you've been on it.
Yeah, and we're enough of you musicians that we could probably find a little group to go play with too.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, you know.
But I will
there's
say,
that.
from my limited experience in that area, because they don't have much snow and the way they build the roads in their mountains, it may not be a bunch of elevation, but I have never been so car sick.
Oh, there's tons of switchbacks.
It's twisty turny.
Only reason I survived it driving that is because I was driving it.
Yeah.
If I was a passenger,
I was on a bus.
I would have died. Yeah.
Oh, I was so ill.
So it's twisty turny, and you know what?
I have a lot more respect for those mountains than I did going in.
But they may not be as tall, but there's some old mountains.
They're pretty.
True.
Old
different
mountains.
type of tree and everything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, but the geology there is old,
ancient.
So I need to go see that.
Okay.
Number 7 is Philadelphia.
That's cool. I've been
because Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Okay. I've done enough. I when I was in the show 1776, it hit me hard.
Yeah.
Okay. It hit me really, really hard.
It was cool to be there.
So I want to go to Independence Hall.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go be where the delegates were.
You want to be in the room where it happened.
They're very good. No, it's cool.
That clip goes here.
I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens.
It was cool to walk around there and have that moment of those people that were bold enough to start this whole thing.
Exactly.
Were there, and I'm walking on the same streets and I'm in the same space, and then those buildings that they would go in and out of, and it was insanely cool. It was there, and the Liberty Bell is so beautiful. It's 1,000% worth it.
And that's why I want to be there, because the visceral experience that I had being in the show made me think about, okay, I'm going to put myself in the position of these men. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling?
The grand experiment of democracy.
You know, I'm angry and I'm mad at the king. Why? Why am I willing to risk my life to do this?
Yeah. It's very cool to be in that space. But then you look at it too, and they're not very big buildings.
No.
And they're not very, it's not this sprawling metropolis that you'd expect it to be. It was, but that's true for everything back east.
Sure.
Is that everything is so close together.
Well, it's a colonial village.
It's colonial. And that's
out there on foot or on horseback.
Right. But when we get out west here, and that's again, this kid who grew up in the West going to the east, and really we have these sprawling, spread out spaces.
Yeah, it's like, you can hear your neighbors.
And everything's so small and so tight together. And we have these, again, the wide open spaces of the West holds true. And then you go back east and you're like, wow.
You guys are tight.
They're close together.
It's tight here.
How did you put a horse and buggy on those little tiny streets in Boston? It's.
Here we come.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I agree. That would be cool to go back to that too.
Okay. Moving on. My number 6 is Molokai and Maui. Okay, you want to go back to Hawaii because there's chunks you haven't seen. Here's some chunks we have never seen.
Yeah.
Okay. We've been to Oahu. We've been to the Big Island. We've been to Kauai.
Okay.
Okay. Those are the 3 islands. You were too little to remember Kauai, unless that's the.
That's where isn't that the one with the stairs that I wouldn't walk up?
No.
Okay.
No, that was the Big Island.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, at least, well, we'll be correct. Mom will correct us.
Mom will correct us. Frame
You know.
of reference, they were open stairs, and when I was little, I wouldn't walk up them because I felt
Right.
like I was going to fall through.
Well,
So I had to be carried up the whole time.
Well, I'm sorry, you
It was
being that little, that's scary.
I was little.
You were a little bitty thing, and that was
my
scary.
favorite memory of Hawaii, I'm going to talk about this,
Okay.
is Mom would get the coffee cake and make that in the mornings. And we'd sit on the lanai and have coffee cake in the mornings for
Yeah.
breakfast. That
Yeah.
is one of my all-time
Yeah.
favorite memories of Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, I want to go. I want to
back.
go someplace other than the Big Island and Kauai, and other than Oahu. Okay. Yes, Oahu's fun.
I've never been there other
Okay.
than the airport.
There's more to see
Yeah,
though. There's a
I
lot
know.
of other islands.
We've
to see.
we've never been to Pearl Harbor.
We've never been to
I
Pearl
would
Harbor.
like to see
no.
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. We've never been to Pearl Harbor.
Mm-mm.
So I think that's something that's a must do.
Mhm.
You know,
And-
eventually.
There's more to Oahu than Honolulu, so you've got
Oh,
to
yeah, trust me.
explore. There's plenty to explore there if that's
Oh, yeah.
where you ended up, right?
Well, and see, go to the leeward side, go
Yeah.
to North Shore.
Right?
You know, I mean, there's plenty of places. Anyway, moving on and keeping in the theme of islands, Puerto Rico.
Yay! It's a
Yes.
ding, ding,
Unanimous.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
three. Yay.
All of us want to do Puerto Rico.
You hit the slot. There you go.
Okay. So, and again, for me, it's colonial history, it's Caribbean history, it's pirate history.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know,
we kind of got hooked into that too from
I
the
got-
OBX.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it was cheesy,
It was
but it hit me hard.
It was cool though.
Okay.
I mean, that was
Well,
a big part of it.
Yeah, I was going to say the cheesy part aside, to like do that little trail and end up.
Where Edward Teach was.
Was.
And died.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see that
And that
was
that
cool.
reenactment was actually pretty cool.
That part was cool.
Yeah.
So it hit me hard.
Yeah,
It hit me hard.
that's
and
a
I'm
good point.
being a historian, reenactment's going to hit me hard anyway.
Mhm.
So yeah, there we are. After that is going to be U.S. Virgin Islands. So Alyce and I are going to go diving.
another
Yeah.
sock trick. There you go.
Yeah, there we are. Hi.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's Alyce and I
I'm sorry,
again.
that's a hat trick.
Hat
Sock
trick.
trick is 6. Sorry.
Yeah. She's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. I was correcting myself. I was like, it came out wrong.
Yeah, but there you are.
I mean, I'm game. Let's
Yeah.
do
I was going to say, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, we could probably make it one big giant trip.
Yeah, 3 days one, 3 days another, and
Yeah, and then,
just sitting on a beach.
yeah.
Okay.
it. Yeah, all right.
I was going to say, none of us are getting hurt.
No,
in this,
no, not
so,
at all. I
Yeah.
mean,
Other than all we'll want to do is go back. So do we really want to make it in one trip, or do we just make it 2
so
trips?
no,
'cause
the
we know
first
it will
time we
be?
go, we do 3 and like a little bit of there and a little bit of there. You get the lay of the
Get
land,
the taste of
get
it.
a taste
Alright.
of it, and then the next time is focus on one or
Yeah.
the other.
St.
Yeah, well-
Thomas or yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll either do 1 or 2 of the islands in the Virgin Islands, or we'll do Puerto Rico,
Right.
or, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, just get a
However,
little,
we just, we'll
First-
choose.
first time around is get an introduction. Second time,
Right.
focus.
Dive
Well,
deep.
and there's a
Okay.
there's a ferry ride that you take between St. Thomas and St. John, I think.
Oh, see, they're close enough. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
So
okay.
it's fun. Anyway, my number 3 choice.
I've been to, so you so have to.
Astoria,
Yes!
Oregon. Okay. There's only really one reason I want to go to Astoria. Goonies.
Goonies never die.
That's right. That's right. Alyce and I loved
Goonies
that
never
movie.
die.
Goonies never die.
I loved it. It was like one of my most favorite things I've ever done in my life
yeah.
was go to Astoria.
Well, and it's just
I mean, you drive in and it's the opening scene of the movie, and you drive
Right.
by the high school, and then up the hill, and then there's the house. It is
well, and
yes.
okay, this is stupid, but there's one of the movie quotes that the reason I love this movie so hard is because of the quote of "Down here, this is our time.
Yeah,
This is our time.
Yeah,
Up there, that's theirs. That's their time. But down here, this is our."
It's the adventure of it and the teamwork of it. It's so good. And Cannon Beach is beautiful, and you get to see the rocks and everything.
Right.
You have to go. You have to go.
And there's a couple hobbits in the movie, and Thanos is in it, and
No.
Well, it's true.
I know it's true, but Astoria is beautiful, and I think like you would like it because you're not as big of a movie aficionado.
I've been forced to watch Goonies. It was fine, but it's not. I didn't see it at the right time in my upbringing to have it hit like it hit you too.
So good. But with that said, Astoria is a very cool town, and the little shopping and the history of it, and it's a really beautiful coastal town. So you would enjoy it. For that part of it. We will reenact scenes.
Oh, yes, we will.
Of course you will.
The Fratellis and the whole shebang.
And then one time, and I started making the noise.
And that'll make it entertaining. Unfortunately for me, my association with Astoria is a content management system that we used at a previous job where I worked. And so it's, to me, a work affiliation, which is probably why I was rolling my eyes when I first saw Astoria.
I'm sorry for that.
But how to get over that is to enjoy this nice little town.
It's a beautiful little town.
Yeah. So
it's a great one. I'm glad you put that on your list because that's a go.
So Astoria, because obvious reasons.
And I mean, Oregon tide pooling is
come on.
Oh, yeah.
It's Pacific Northwest.
It's so good.
Okay.
Oregon coast was on my list.
Yeah.
So I'm all there. Okay.
I can't not.
Lighthouses.
Yeah.
Again.
Just that's where I got hooked. So
okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. Number 2, New Orleans.
Yay.
For only one word for me. Jazz.
I'm there.
Not Raymond.
Well, we'll have the food. We'll go to Cafe Du Monde. We'll go. We'll have the beignets. We'll do the
gumbo.
Thing.
Like
we'll have Creole.
We'll
have good Creole cooking. We'll have good Cajun cooking.
But we gotta go to going down the bayou.
We'll go up there to Shreveport.
I guess we go to Lafayette.
We'll go to Baton Rouge.
I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana at the end of June for my conference.
Right on.
The 4th of July. So I'll be there getting all immersed in said culture.
Do videos.
I will.
Do videos.
Yeah. I'm presenting
bugs.
Well, I'm presenting at the conference. So
okay.
There's a little bit of a request to see my presentation from my staff. So I was like, that's kind of sweet. So anyway, but yeah, I'll be the cool thing about the conference I'm going to is they always like to bring in cultural aspects of the spaces because of environmental education and marine education in particular. The cultures play such a big part of how you take care of the land and how you view the land. So we're going to have this at least two nights of full immersion into the Creole culture.
Oh, neat.
And Creole stuff. Yeah. And have a dinner, like an authentic dinner. And then we'll have some Native American tribes folks come in and talk about the tribal influence in the area.
So not Cajun, but Creole.
Both. Yeah.
Oh, both. Okay.
Cajun and Creole. Both are going to
Right
be there. So I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
It's the beginning of July. So
it'll be a little toasty.
Bugs.
Humidity.
Bugs.
I can live. I lived in Corpus with the humidity. I'm not as about that. It's just the mosquitoes the size of birds that hit a little different now. So anyway, yes, New Orleans, Louisiana.
So, okay, and my last.
Okay.
My number 1 through stream of consciousness choice is Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Specifically, District of Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we could do that for the Virginia trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
we
really
do that for
that
the
in.
Virginia trip, and we can do the whole Annapolis thing. And
Annapolis is amazing. It's one of my favorite conference towns I've ever been to. The Naval Academy is insane.
So there's that. But just going to DC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last time that I was in DC, I was too young to remember it. And apparently there is 8mm film of it.
Hopefully.
Somewhere. I think my dad still has it somewhere in
a dusty box.
In a big
cabinet,
plastic
in the hall cabinet.
Pink flowery bag.
In the hall cabinet right next to my bedroom.
Yep. It's in there
Third
somewhere.
Shelf down.
It's in there somewhere.
At least if it didn't get into the attic, there's hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I'm trying to
I never went in the attic.
What I'm thinking of doing is trying to find an 8mm projector somewhere online.
Okay, online, because the one he had, I think he sold it.
That was Uncle Eddie's.
Oh, was it?
Yes, he always borrowed it.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if my dad has one that we could have.
Anyway, I want to go to the National Mall.
Yeah.
I want to go to the monuments. I want to go see the Washington Monument. I want to go see Jefferson Monument. I want to go see Lincoln Monument. I want to go
insanely beautiful.
I want to go see the inside of the Capitol. I want
Never
to go,
done that.
I want to go to Library of Congress.
Never
I want to
done
go
that.
to Smithsonian.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Smithsonian is so cool.
It's a trip in itself, though.
Right, but I need to go. I've never been to the Smithsonian.
You would enjoy two of the museums in particular, the Air and Space Museum.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's
You and Dad just can geek out to that whole thing. And then the American History Museum.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Both of those are the Smithsonian. And then the Smithsonian, the OG part of it, but
Yeah.
like those two museums in particular.
And I need to go see the natural history portion because their hominid collection is phenomenal. So I want to go look at very, very ancient skulls.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's me.
Cool.
Anyway, that's my list.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Here we are.
about 15 spaces to go
I know.
between the three of us.
Well, and DC would have gone on my list, but again, I'd been there. Even though I didn't get to spend much time, I was again there for work, and we had half a day before the work event started, and so we did as much as we could in half a day.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
saw the Lincoln Memorial, we saw
So cool.
Vietnam and World War II memorials,
You know,
Korean Memorial.
The Korean War Memorial is my favorite of them.
Yeah.
I need
surprisingly
to
moving.
I haven't seen the World War II. That's the one that was the newest one, but the Korean War one and those statues walking through that
We did a quick
forest. Oh, it's so
walk
good.
by the White House, of course.
It is so good.
Yeah.
That
didn't get to
powerful.
see them all, didn't get to see the monument, certainly didn't go to the museums. We did, though, go to the Library of Congress. We only
That's
had
cool.
like half an hour, though, so not much time. So I just took a beeline and went to the recreation of Jefferson's library.
Oh my.
And that was amazing.
See, I've never been. I've heard it's one of the most beautiful buildings.
It is.
in DC.
Yeah, it's incredible. I would, again, we were like, oh, we need to spend
Need
more time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, on that, I want to do. You mentioned Alaska. Yeah, going to see glaciers cavitating into the bay. That'd be fun. From the safety of a ship, far enough away where it's not going to swamp anything.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do more of the interior.
I have a friend who's a pilot up there.
Yeah, but I've heard horror stories of things
Bush
go
pilots?
bad. No, not horror stories of bush pilots, but horror stories of things going bad and you not coming out.
Oh,
so yeah.
I would trust her to know when to go and when not to go and all of
but
that.
also it's the fact that I want to see Denali.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is the tallest mountain in the United States, and I want to go see it.
Okay.
So
Sure.
yeah. And there's of course that chain of volcanoes that's out there, and again geology.
Wildlife.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bears. Big bear.
Big bear chase. Big bear chase me.
Big Bear, chase! Big Bear, chase!
What is he saying?
What? Big Bear, chase me!
Big. It's big. There we go. End scene. That was not in Alaska, by the way, but that's still a good movie.
No, that wasn't. That was actually in the Northwest.
Northwest.
That was in where we talked about,
Okay.
going up to
Minnesota.
the North Woods.
Yeah, it was Minnesota, right?
Yeah, Minnesota North Woods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of Chicago.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, up there in God's country.
It's another movie that Kris does not
That I don't appreciate like the rest
same
of the
manner
Todd
the rest
family.
of us.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the rest of the Todd family, but certainly is Alyce and I.
I love that movie.
They tied me to a chair and made me watch it.
Yes, forcibly pried her eyeballs
I
open
was going
like
to say, the scene from Clockwork
Clockwork
Orange.
Orange. That's where my brain went. Like pried her eyeballs open and made her watch it.
Okay, once again, I'm doing the movie count reference on this video again because I think we're up to 5
5 or
now.
6.
I think we're up to 5. So yeah. Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
you at home can count along.
Make it a drinking game if you choose.
Oh my goodness. Or not.
and
you might get sick.
yeah, do remember that we are on 2 platforms here. We're on YouTube and Spotify. Both are video podcasts.
And you can subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and like it.
us.
That's right.
Gotta get it in now.
Okay.
Okay. So
Wow.
speaking of the interior, when I was putting my list together, I honestly didn't go in the middle of the world.
I
went
almost
coast.
put the Ozarks because I've heard so many good things about them. So
I've heard good stuff about the Ozarks as well.
yeah.
Again, big bugs.
Yeah, it's big bugs, but
Lots of lakes. Very
lots
wet.
of lakes, very beautiful. And again, different flora than we'd see here, definitely, but also from the East Coast or the West Coast. So, it's its own thing.
Lots of very large angry bass.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's also a place in Nebraska, I think, that every time Kat and I would go back and forth when she was going to school in Illinois, we'd say, one of these days we have to come up here during the crane migration season.
Oh, that
and do the crane
that's not very far from us.
migration.
Yeah.
No, it's a hard day's drive, but it's a day's drive. And so again, during crane migration, that's a long weekend.
You can
kind
go to
of
Buena
deal.
Vista and see them.
Oh, that's true.
You don't have to go to Nebraska.
Yeah.
You can go to Buena Vista and do it.
They migrate through here too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Beautiful. I've been to that space and it's really cool.
Well, yeah. Buena Vista itself is beautiful. Or Buena Vista.
Okay. We're not talking about Colorado.
Sorry. All right. I also, the things that didn't make my list, I wouldn't mind going back up to the Black Hills and seeing that as an adult. And particularly now that the, now I'm going to lose his name. The Geronimo,
Mountain.
Yeah, I was going to say
Monument.
carving monument is there. Love to do that again, or do that, period. And again, it's a hard day's drive, but it's a day's drive from here. So those are kind of the central ones that I pondered, but didn't make the list.
Okay.
Chicago is amazing if you haven't been there.
I think I've done enough in Chicago to make myself happy.
Well, just the museums there. I would love.
I've done the museums.
I would like to go back to the Museum of Science and Industry. Mm-hmm. We didn't have enough time there. So we only saw a handful of things.
I'm always down for a museum.
Yeah.
I'm always down for a museum. So,
and, and Lake Michigan, it's
okay.
No salt, no sharks, but all the fun.
We had a really good evening
day there
and a really good time there.
We did.
The Frank Lloyd Wright House was
amazing.
One of the coolest things I think you would have
love that.
You would love
so
that.
Much.
You would love that. The original ginkgo tree that his mother-in-law gave him is in that yard. And that's what inspired the ginkgo motif in his designs and architecture. Mm-hmm. Is from looking at that tree outside the window.
There is, again, and here comes another one. Get yourselves ready. Somewhere near that area is Cameron's house with the glass garage. Somewhere in that area.
I'm not sure if that's that or the Hollywood Hills.
I thought it was Illinois.
I thought it was in the Hollywood Hills.
Okay.
We'll have to look that up.
Google
I know
it.
where you're going.
Google
it's a Ferris Bueller's Day Off reference, everyone.
I was going to say, there it is.
So,
but
I knew you didn't get it.
And the reason I say that is because Cameron's dad's car had Illinois plates.
Yeah, it's based in Chicago because the big
So the big
festival.
Ferris wheel must have been the Navy Pier then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the parade down in the German Fest or whatever?
Yeah.
Oktoberfest parade.
Yeah, singing Twist and Shout.
So anyway.
Well, then if you're up there, then another movie reference, you got to go to Joliet.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers. We drove through it.
We drove through Joliet.
So we can stand outside the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get our vision.
It's also where the very first Dairy Queen is.
Okay.
Not Joliet, but on
Route 66 on our way.
Well, 55. That's Highway
Around.
55, but it's up there. Yeah.
Yay!
I don't know. I'm sitting here trying to think of anything that I would want to add. I mean, like, I've kind of picked myself in and thrown honorable mentions that I would do, but I think, hearing all of your things, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go to that. Oh yeah, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have anything else. Like I said, the interior, I'm just not dry. I'm not hitting.
Back to the East Coast, you mentioned New York.
Yeah.
That was a hard one for me because Kat and I she wanted to see some colleges out there. So when we had the big college tour, we were going to go see a show on Broadway and we were going to do all these fun things.
I've never done that.
And then COVID hit and we had all of it just shut down overnight. So
again, I mean, going into town, going into New York City, I mean, you can't. Being a theater kid, I can't.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I can't go to New York and not go to a show.
Right.
Okay.
Broadway, off Broadway, yes to all of the above.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if we go down to Soho and see a little something there above a bowling alley, I don't care.
Yeah, and I've never been to New York City. The only reason I didn't include it was the emotional ringer of that, but also I'm like, well, a lot of people say it's similar to London, and I've been to London, so I'm going to leave it off my list. But I will happily accompany you.
I was going to say we got to go down to Broadway.
I've been to New York City and Brooklyn because I had a conference. The Marine conference was in Brooklyn. I don't get intimidated traveling alone very much.
No, I don't either.
And it intimidated me.
Really?
Yes.
There's a lot going on.
The buildings are huge.
Yeah.
And tall, and it's just, you feel oppressed, and there's a lot of humans, and it's just, it intimidated me. I thought I'll go walk around, and I had a really cool little hotel lined up before I went into Brooklyn, so I stayed in New York City proper. It intimidated me a lot. So, once I got out to Brooklyn, though, but I was in the conference, but once I got out there, I wasn't as intimidated. And then I got out there, and then I hooked up with some people, and we went to the Statue of Liberty, and we went to the park, and rode the train in and everything. It was fine. But until then I was not doing things by myself.
Okay.
Yeah. It intimidated me.
One of the colleges that Kat wanted to visit was out in Long Island, and that looked really interesting too. Like out of the city, but you're still close.
Yeah.
And, so that looked, but yeah, I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. I mean, there's just so much, and again, so much history.
Ellis
there.
Island is insanely good.
Yeah.
Well, and also to feed in partially for what this channel is about, I mean, Coney Island.
So cool.
Yeah.
I rode the OG. I rode that before they closed it. Yeah, and I had a hot dog.
Wow.
Nathan's. Yeah, that was part of a conference.
Nathan's hot dog.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It was so good.
Oh my gosh.
I did. I was like, I loved it. It was so good. We all it was part of the conference, and they got us all tickets on the roller coaster.
See, that's
and
just
then we
fun.
got to go to ride it was
That's
cool.
just fun.
Yeah.
That's just fun.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
This is why it's my favorite conference. I love the things we get to do, but
So there it is, folks.
yeah.
There it is.
There's our top 10. We share a lot. I think you've probably figured that out from the last video. Kris and I are very much of the same brain after over 30 years of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Alyce and I are very much of the same brain because of 50% DNA. It's just, that's the way it is. We are definitely landlocked state kids, and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
It shows very hard.
The other thing that shows is that we like to go places where we can learn something.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
we're not going just to, see where the wind takes us. We have like purpose when we go travel in those new places because we want to hit a museum, or we want to hit some historical sites, or we want to go and make observations and be in nature or whatever. Right. That's why we travel, is we want to go learn and experience those spaces that way.
And there is on some level a science-based something
Always
with
science is in
all of
everything.
us.
Yeah.
On
Science
some
is
level.
everything.
Because your thing
Science is everything.
is biology, and
Science is everything.
science rules. That goes here
Bill
too.
Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Anyway, but no, I mean seriously,
No, yeah.
my gig's on the geology end of it. Your gig is on the biology end of it. There's also a sociology aspect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a culture, anthropology
Well,
aspect.
Like the whole
You
lighthouse
know?
thing is all physics and engineering
And
and how that
history.
history and
Oh yeah,
like-
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
I mean, you get it all in a lighthouse.
You
I
really
love
do.
it. I love those
I wouldn't
things.
Yeah,
mind doing
that's
a
true.
lighthouse tour.
Oh, a
of the
lighthouse
United
tour would be
States.
insanely
Yeah.
good.
That's true because you get physics and you get chemistry.
Chemistry. The engineering side of it, how
Yeah.
the angles and the engineering of those Fresnel light bulbs to get out. Mhm.
Lenses.
How they get out into the water and everything. Like it's all. That's so cool.
Oh, it is.
It's so
Mhm.
good.
Anyway, there it is, folks. You can see that we're not just Disney adults all the time. I mean, we have a very heavy Disney aspect. Yes. Case in point behind me. But it's not our entire focus. It's not our entire thing. I guess that's what I'm wanting to say is that we are deeper than what we present. How's that?
Okay.
Sometimes.
Mostly.
We're not vapid, shallow pools. We're deep oceans.
We have more depth than a teaspoon. Okay.
At least a tablespoon.
Yeah.
But
we have a ladle.
Are we metric or are we not?
Yes, we're metric
we have
because
both.
science.
That's right.
That's
It's
right.
everything.
Oh man. Okay, I think that's it.
I
think
need
we
a
should-
lefty ladle though.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you got a little insight of what we want to do and where we're going to go and some of our bucket lists and
So what's our
The
next bucket
dreams.
list?
the world.
Actually, yes.
Where you want to go in the world?
Yes. Use the globe.
Okay.
Top 10 of the globe.
Oh my gosh. I barely got to 10 in the United States.
I know, but
That's
this is
gonna
a
be
good
so
exercise.
hard.
This is a good exercise.
All right.
There's a reason I'm doing this.
We're planning our life trip.
I'm building my bucket list.
I'm like,
I
we're
was gonna
building
say.
our trips.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing when we're retiring. First, we have to sell the house, though,
Yeah, apparently.
Van life.
so we can afford all of this. But
It's
yeah.
going to be in our little tiny house.
White van down by the river.
And I live in a van down by the river.
In that case, we have to relocate where it's not quite so cold.
Yeah. We have to live somewhere where our face doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So
Which means that there's bugs as big as our face.
that's right. There's bugs. Anyway,
All right. So next is the world.
next is the world. Yeah. Top 10 global international travel. Top 10.
Okay.
I know, right? Yep. Miss, I'm going to Greece. I know.
Mhm.
I know.
Mhm. I
So
know.
you've got to come up with 9 other locations.
Well, I don't think Greece needs to go on my
Greece
list. I'm
doesn't count
going.
because
Oh, because you are going. Yeah. So, okay, fine. Then. There you are. So anyway, that's all that we have. And thank you very much for joining us. Again, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be doing another top 10 for the world and see where we go from there. Other than that, I guess that's it.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great.
Everybody.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hang it up now.